Get that money.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another edition of Black Dollar Coalition.
Welcome back, guys. Hey, EsessionByEnicole.
Hey, on the spot. I see we got something special in store today.
Oh yes, I'm really excited about this one because today we're going to talk about investing and how to guide your plan for your financial future. A lot of times people don't know where to start, what directions they should go. Should it be stock? Should it be crypto? Should it be real estate? Like, what do we do to get out of the rat race? And that is what our section will be about today.
Yeah, so as always, get your pen and your paper out because we got some tips for y'all. Well, on the spot, though.
Yeah. Me and my co-host, we're holding it down. We work as a team over here, okay?
Yes. That is the coalition of Black Dollar.
Yes, that's the coalition. Yes, and it's black.
Yes. Let's go.
Awesome. So, funny story, E. Well, I shared with you that I have a financial degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I several years ago, I started a program for young people, for the little babies, on financial literacy and financial lessons. And one of the things that was so fun in my little class was we talked about money trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. So money trees was how I was able to kind of illustrate what an income producing asset is, right? It's a money tree. So like if, the actual money, those are the leaves, right? So I can give you some money. I can give you $100,000, right? But those are just the leaves. What if I gave you a tree? I think she would like that. EsessionByEnicole likes money, by the way.
Yes.
So this is kind of the concept behind our financial lesson for today. We're going to talk about money trees, and we're going to bring in an expert. This is Robert Kiyosaki. Do you recognize him?
If y'all don't, this is On the Spot's friend right here.
Yeah.
Who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yes. Excuse me. This is the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad and several other books. I think that's kind of like his most famous book that people identify him by. Some people call him the Rich Dad guy. But Robert Kiyosaki is an investor himself. He's an author, of course, and I would consider him like an educator, mentor, kind of person. And I will be presenting actually one of his foundational lessons that I think is so important in an adult way, right? I'm not going to, give the information like I gave it to the babies, but I thought the money tree was like kind of a good visual.
You might need to.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, let us know down in the comments, if you have questions or what your thoughts are or what's going on this very exciting subject. So Robert Kiyosaki, I actually read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm kind of a finance geek, so I read a lot of the financial books, and it was amazing. I think one of the standout things in his books and writing material is he explains the differences between what poor people do with their money, what the middle class do with their money, and what the rich do with their money. And so let me kind of bring this up. I have several things to show you. So let me see what I'm going to put in first. Let's start here, guys. Let's start with the poor people, right? What are poor people's attitudes and habits regarding money, right? So this is their little graph. So Robert Kiyosaki shares that poor people basically, they have income from a job, right? So that's a job, the little dot to the left, and they get a paycheck, right? They get a paycheck from their job. It comes into their household as income, and it goes out of their household as expenses. So that's income at the top, all those expenses at the bottom. And so money comes in, money goes out. This is how Robert Kiyosaki describes poor people. He doesn't describe it by the amount of income that they have. He doesn't describe it by the neighborhood that they live in or what kind of car that they drive, right?
Nor their ethnicity.
Or their ethnicity, or what kind of glasses they wear, or anything like that, what hairstyle they have. It's how their money comes in and how it goes out. So let's look at the middle class. So he describes it as this, and I'm sorry I can't make it a little bit bigger, but I'll explain it in case your eyes are, not as great. So this is what happens.
And always feel free to replay us on your TV as you can see things a little bit bigger.
Yes, absolutely. So for the middle class, I'm actually going to make it bigger for myself. Okay. They have a job on the outside. That's the little dot. The money comes into the household as their salary, right? Then it goes around into these liabilities, right? So the middle class, what do they have? They have these big homes they live in. They have these fancy cars. They have car loans on. They have credit card debt. They might have student loans. Don't we all? I think we all have student loans. And then they also have expenses, right? So the income comes in as a salary, goes around to their liabilities, because middle class people have stuff, right? They have very nice things. And then it goes out as expenses. So that is how he categorizes the middle class. But what does this look like for rich people? And how is it different? And how can we use those differences and apply them so that we can slide from poor to middle class all the way over to rich? Let's take a look. So with the rich people, this is what it looks like. There's no job on the outside. There's no job. That's not where the income is coming from. The income is coming from that bottom box called assets. I'll list them for you just in case you can't see them. But like Eden said, you can blow this up. You can, and you can also, DM me if you want me to post it. Maybe I'll put it on my IG. Check me out on IG. Okay. So their income is coming from assets, not jobs. Their income is coming from assets, not jobs. When you meet people socially, it's probably pretty normal or common for you to say, what do you do for a living? But do you know that rich people, most of them don't do anything for a living, right? Their living comes from their assets. So some of the assets listed in this box are real estate, of course, stocks, bonds, notes. By the way, guys, notes, someone asked me what notes was. A note is just is an outstanding debt to you, right? So if you loan money out and you expect your money back with interest, that is called a note, right? That is an asset. So the next time somebody asks you for money, they're offering you an asset. So loan it to them with interest. Robert Kiyosaki and the Black Dollar Coalition approve of that, okay? And then also, this is a good one for you, E, intellectual property.
Okay.
Royalties, right? Patents, things like that. So your royalties, your patents, your notes, your stocks, your real estate. Imagine all of those things being your monthly income, all of those things being your annual income. And that is how you earn a living, right? When you earn a living like that, your expenses and your liabilities can be whatever they are, right? Because you're not out working a job, attempting to earn money, wearing your body all the way down to the ground in order just to earn a living. And so as we think about investing, as you think about, what you want to do with your money, when I had my program for young people, their parents would come, right? And their parents were so cute. They were so lovely. And they would say, what do I do? What do you suggest I invest in if I have an extra $5,000 or I have an extra, whatever, $2,000 bonus this month, from my sales or my job or whatever? What should I do? And the answer is that you have to take everything you earn. This is the only way that you get from this poor cycle over to the rich cycle. Okay. You have to take as much as you can out of what you earn and purchase income producing assets. Purchase these money trees. You need to buy money trees. You need to buy money trees. Okay. So let's talk about the money trees. Here's our illustration.
Yes.
Here are some money trees. We talked about them in the asset section as well. Rental properties, right? Rental properties. That's property that you own. You rent out to people and they pay you every month, or the government pays you every month. Housing choice vouchers, what people used to call Section 8, is a tremendous source of income because most of your money comes from the government. Royalty income, digital assets. Now, this is exciting because this is a new asset class because we're now in the digital technology age. Would you like to hear about what some digital assets are that you can own and use as a money tree? Let's talk about it. Digital assets.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, she's activated. I told you guys, TheeEnicole loves the money, and she has a passion for this information just like I do. So we love doing this show for you guys, by the way. We were just talking about that backstage. Okay, so cloud storage. Do you know that you can provide cloud storage and just let people, kind of place their digital things with you and charge them for it? Yes. Digital media, right? Which TheeEnicole knows a lot about. She is a fantastic content creator, just an overall creator. So digital media could be a digital asset. Graphics, which she also does. This is like your section E.
Right.
Yes. Website domains. Back, I remember several years ago, I was following an influencer who was making so much money just purchasing website domains, holding on to them and waiting for somebody who wanted to start their business to come and pay him for it, right? Presentations, directories. There are directories where it's like the 20 best Black-owned restaurants in Philadelphia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people might pay like $1, $2, $5 just to access this directory, these lists. These are all what we call digital assets, which is a new asset class. But again, they are money trees because they are creating passive income for you. What else do we have on our asset list? So we did rental property, royalties, digital assets, dividend yielding stocks and bonds, right? And then finally, businesses. Now, I kind of gave this away, but out of all these asset classes, there are two that have consistently outperformed all others in creating wealthy people here in America. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Out of every kind of asset you can own, every single kind of asset you can own, 2 specifically have generated the most wealth for everyday people in America. They are rental properties, purchasing property, owning property, and utilizing that property for income. And number 2, businesses. You have the most statistical probability of becoming a millionaire by owning, starting, or investing in a new business, or you could do both, investing in property and owning and charging for use of property. These 2 things create more millionaires than the NFL, the NBA, all of it. The Sony Music Group, UMG, Universal Music Group, all of them. More everyday people become millionaires through property and businesses. So I wanted to point that out to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we are moving from, I just have to change that on my other thing. By the way, if you're watching live or on the replay, did you like the video? Please do. We greatly appreciate it.
We definitely do.
We
and
absolutely
check the description for all links. Make sure that you guys are also subscribed and checking out On the Spot's information too, because as you see, she has a lot to offer and she goes very much so in depth on the Spot.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so our goal is to take our earned income, money we're making from our jobs, and purchase money trees. Okay, what can you purchase that is going to grow for you? Oh, this is another quad that I was going to share. Let me see. Oh, yes.
Is that our friend again?
Yes, that's Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah, he's cool with us over here. Robert, if you're watching, you're always welcome over here at the Black Dollar.
Yes, come on over.
So this is another quadrant, right? So the employee quadrant to the top left, the E, that means you have a job, right? And then the S to the bottom means you're self-employed. That means you own a job. You own your job, right? And then the top right is business. You're a business owner. You own a system that works for you. And he very smartly defines businesses as systems, meaning that you, the owner, can take yourself out of it, can step away from it, can go lay down for 37 days, and the business continues to run. That system is what he actually calls the business. So that's different than being self-employed and owning a job. And then I means that your money works for you. So when it comes to mapping out, charting out your approach to your financial future, this is kind of good to think about going from employee to self-employed to a business owner, a system owner, now to an investor where money is simply flowing in because the business itself is a money tree. One other thing we didn't talk a lot about, I talked about rental property, the digital assets, etc. The others are stock assets. So owning stock, some stocks pay out a dividend every year. What is a dividend? A dividend is a portion of the company's profit at the end of the year. So say Southwest Airlines made $8 billion. They spent $7,900,000,000. So they have that $100 million in profit. That $100 million is divided between all stock owners and paid to them as a dividend every year, right? And so because there are lots of stockholders, that amount could be very diluted. It's kind of like, if you have a class action lawsuit and it's $500 million, but there were so many, claimants that everybody gets a check for 35 or something like that. But if you are strategic in selecting your stock, you can create dividend income that is substantial enough to sustain your lifestyle. But again, and I want to drive this home as people are thinking about what to do with their money and where to place their money, that the number one and number two historic millionaire makers are rental property, real estate, and or businesses. Okay. And let me say this too, before we close out, right? Some people say, well, everyone isn't a business owner. Everyone isn't an entrepreneur. I agree. I totally agree. But everyone knows a business owner. Who are those entrepreneurs? Who are your friends? Who are your family out there that do have that entrepreneurial spirit, who have been working and building a business? Invest with them. Do you know that you can invest with your friend or your family just like you can invest in a stock for Southwest Airlines or Apple or Alphabet or Google, Alphabet or Tesla, right? You can invest into their business, especially if you believe that it is going to grow and sustain itself. And your, percentage ownership can grow exponentially. Yeah, so think about it. You know what I mean? This should help you guys. But the goal is to take as much money that you earn and purchase your asset, your income producing asset, which will be your money tree. It's not how much money you have, it's how many money trees you own.
Yes, yes. I hope you guys took notes because she definitely gave some seeds to start some money trees.
Yes, let's go money trees.
So on your way out, please hit that like button. Please make sure you guys are subscribed and always come back to the Black Dollar Coalition because we're always going to have something to share with you guys.
Exactly. See you guys soon.
Bye-bye.